peers could be in line for a big pay hike after they complained that £305 a day tax-free allowance is not covering their costs. The Lord's authorities are examining proposals for an increase to the allowance for members who live outside London so they can fund accommodation. Mainland Line understands some peers are pushing for a significant rise, with one suggestion that it should be equivalent to the £175 a night MPs can claim for hotels. That would be an effective 60% pay rise, meaning they could receive £70,000 a year tax-free from an average 150 sitting days. However, the Cross-Party Lords Commission has insisted that the changes must not increase the overall cost of peers' expenses. Instead, the savings from an expected wave of retirements could be redistributed, or those who live in London could have their allowances reduced. At a meeting earlier this year, the Commission, chaired by Lord Speaker Lord Fowler, discussed the issue of accommodation costs. Some members made the point that the current scheme does not provide adequate compensation, the minutes of the meeting said. One member made the point that in some cases, the House is incurring a greater overall cost because of some members who submit travel expense claims for traveling long distances, a practice which avoids incurring overnight accommodation costs. Share this article. Share the Commission discussed how ongoing efforts to reduce the size of the House may present an opportunity to reallocate funds to members who incur accommodation costs. The House's finance director has been instructed to look into the options and present a paper. One peer involved in the process told Mainland Line, "If you live in London you get the same as if you live in Orkney. Okay, you get travel down to London, but people who live in or around London have got a home there." There are various suggestions that people have made. Some people have suggested reducing the allowance for people living in London and increasing the allowance for people outside London. Others have suggested just an addition. The peer said some people were pushing for the same funding as MPs receive for hotels, £175 a night. But they are very reluctant to spend more money. They will spend it on the building, but not on members, the peer added. A House of Lords spokesman said the Commission had ruled out returning to the previous system, where there was a separate overnight allowance. They also dismissed the idea that peers could claim expenses for costs incurred on accommodation. There are no proposals for reintroducing a separate overnight allowance that would allow peers to recoup the cost of staying in London to attend the House, the spokesman said. "We will not be adopting the system in the House of Commons to allow direct recuperation of hotel costs." Sources suggested the final changes were likely to be tinkering rather than massive. Tory MP David T.C. Davies said, "I think the unelected House of Lords is a bit of an anachronism. They shouldn't be entitled to any increases in allowances until they have scrapped the hereditary peers, which is something that should have happened many years ago."